guys, welcome back to the Canada Puck Podcast, your weekly, I think we're weekly now, I guess, recap of what's going on in the world of sports, specifically hockey, and even more specifically, the hockey in Canada. I'm your co-host, Mick. You can find me on Twitter, Prophet Mick, and I'm joined every episode by my lovely and talented co-host,
Grant, on Twitter, at Fourth Line Sports. You know, we've been doing this a long time now. 8 seasons of quality content for all the people who've been sticking around, listening. And I have to say, sometimes we force the issue a little bit. Sometimes there's not much to talk about. Sometimes we still come and talk about it. But it just so happens where the 2 weeks that Mick's gone are probably the 2 most eventful weeks in, I'm not pulling any punches with this one, Canadian hockey history. That's how eventful the last 2 weeks have been. And I have nobody to talk to about it with. So here we are.
I'm getting notifications. I'm around the world. My phone's blowing up, and I'm like, why? What has happened? We've done nothing. We've had months of nothing.
And spoiler alert, some of this we talked about it first. And I wanted to be the first one to talk about some of these things. We were, and lo and behold, here we are. Mick fucking tipped his cap too on a few. Or tipped the cap to Mick on a few opinions and insights too earlier in the season where you're like, you know what? That was the right thing to say at the time. And here we are, a month and a half into the season, wondering, our heads are spinning, what's going to happen next? Where does the excitement in hockey come from after what we just witnessed over the last couple of weeks?
There you go. So what a great intro. So as you're noticing, we're coming at you on Friday night rather than Saturday morning. And as a show that previews Saturday, we realized we gave a very narrow window to watch our content. So we actually might be doing Thursday, Friday nights in the future. Maybe an occasional Saturday morning if we're busy. But that's kind of the idea with this. The idea with that is to, give you guys more lead time to listen to our genius ideas.
Well,
opinions that sometimes aren't poopy.
Half-baked shenanigans?
Okay, half-baked shenanigans. That's nice. Look at that little culinary arts there. So if you are new to the show, welcome. Welcome to the first show. If you're an old guest, we're going to change up the format a little bit. Grant, I even ran up through the format too, and he's like, I don't know, I don't like change. I fear change. So.
But if you are a first-time listener, fuck you. We've been doing this 8 years. So just because we switched to Friday night, that's no excuse. Go fuck yourself.
We released our show at 2 in the afternoon, 3 hours before Hockey Night in Canada. That gave you ample time to listen to us. What the hell?
Yeah. By the time you got to the gambling advice, which is normally around the hour mark, chances are, if you didn't start right at 2 o'clock, you're missing everything.
Oh, yeah. You have to have it in your head, have it downloaded, headphones on, and running to the gas station just to get in on the action. So it was hopefully we're going to give you a lazy, hungover Saturday morning stroll now. So
that's it. On Friday night, though. Well, Thursday, Friday night, wherever we land.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, our audience was too fit. That was the issue. We need some more dad bods out there, guys. So we're going to dad bod it up. And
medium pace. That's what we need. Medium pace listeners.
Yeah, medium pace. That's what we want. So what we're going to do is, I believe we go to the standings. We go overall. We scroll down to the bottom, and then we start talking about the Canadian teams. Usually it's laughing at first because why are you at the bottom? Why are you at the bottom? Edmonton Oilers at 29th. Okay.
Okay. We're getting right into it. Lots to say about this subject, obviously.
And we should disclaim, I haven't been here for 2 weeks, so if there's things I missed, this is kind of a review, and then we'll do our preview. So review, preview, maybe that's captured in the headlines. I don't know.
All right, so I'll go ahead and take the lead on this. Our second podcast of the year, the Oilers were maybe 0-3. Maybe I don't think they had their first win yet, or maybe they were 1-4, something like that. Wasn't a great start. And I started to opine, has Jay Woodcroft lost this room? And I thought about it. I thought about it some more, and where I landed was, I don't think Jay Woodcroft did lose the room. And where my hate genuinely comes from is my hate comes from Ken Holland. because at the time of dismissal, Woodcroft was still a premier coach. The Oilers were leading the league in most offensive categories and had the best expected goals for rating of any team in the NHL, bar none. And Mick has mentioned on our podcast, maybe this is just natural regression. Maybe the goal scoring woes that they had experienced early was just natural regression after basically the top two lines had career years last year. And that kind of started to make more sense to me as I watched, because there wasn't anything wrong with the on-ice product. They were doing normal Oilers things. McDavid didn't look like his typical self, but Zach Hyman's producing, Evander Kane's producing, they're getting moderate power play, special teams production. The miscue is goaltending, and everybody has known for years that goaltending would be the miscue for the Oilers. And this is where this is why I think it's Ken Holland's fault. We knew what the issue was. Ken Holland knew what the issue was. Everybody knew what the issue was, yet there was no change for years. And Dustin Schwartz, I don't know if this guy's got pictures of Ken Holland naked, or I don't know what he's holding over Oilers' brass head.
He's an old white man. He's probably got terrible, terrible pictures. Like, naked is like the least offensive thing he's doing in that picture. So.
Yeah. So anyways, let me just, last thing I have to mention on Dustin Schwartz, because I know it's kind of one of those things that nobody really talks about. This guy, so when you think of NHL coaches, you've got professional experience, you've been through the ranks, you've seen the best of it. Sometimes you've got the mind, you just don't have the body. When the top level you've played is university hockey, and that's the height of your resume, I don't think you have the pedigree to coach NHL goaltenders. So whatever the circumstances are that dictate, Dustin Schwartz will remain goaltending coach and Ken Holland will remain general manager. I think it's time to be a little bit more honest about what's actually impacting the Oilers' chances of success, and it wasn't coaching. It was the pieces that were put in place and the coaching that has, goaltending coach, that has really ruined every goalie. If Cam Talbot gets booed out of town because he can't figure shit out, and now he's leading the Los Angeles Kings a few years later, it wasn't a Cam Talbot issue, it was a coaching issue.
Remember how cool Mike Smith looked, though, in that playoff game when he had, like, the blood coming out his face and he had the long, like, Triple H hair, and, like, that guy was a warrior. Huh. Good old days.
And, that was peak Mike Smith. We're not going to get anything like that again.
No, that was, like, a magical moment there. Like, that was, like, Shawn Michaels' WrestleMania moment kind of thing. And those only come around once a generation, right? So tough. Yeah, rocky start. I'm looking at the schedule here, and they won the Heritage Classic. They beat the Flames. That must have been like right around the time I left. And then I'm seeing losses and losses. Oh, I'm losing to the Sharks. I think that was kind of the nail in the haystack, because the Sharks hadn't won or something until the 7th, and that's a long time to not win. Like a month into the season, and then two days later have the same amount of points as the Oilers. That's a tough look. So.
And this is okay. So I can't skate past this. Everybody knew, at least there's videos circulating Jay Woodcroft online. He was walking off the ice in San Jose, and if you read his lips, it's something along the lines of, "That was probably the last game I'll ever coach of the Oilers," or "That might have been enough. That might have been it." Something like that. It was something along those lines. Okay. So he knew the writing was on the wall. He told Dave Manson this as they're walking off the ice. He coaches the next game. They win against Seattle. They score 4 first-period goals. They're up 4-0. They hang on to win 4-1. It was a pretty good, pretty valiant road effort, we'll call it. Yeah. The next day, Ken Holland basically fires Woodcroft, and then he and this fuck, I don't even know who he is, but I think he was hired. He was brought in this offseason, president of not even operations. It was like maybe the Oilers Entertainment Group. Anyways, basically Ken Holland says one thing, and then this Jeff Jackson, I can't remember what his name is. Anyway, said something that basically completely contradicted it. Comes out later that Ken Holland was doing all this goofy shit behind the scenes. He's like, well, why would I fire my coach if I didn't have, if I hadn't asked another team for permission to talk to their coach, negotiated some sort of release, signed all the contracts, basically done all the paperwork. It's like, you sound like a fucking dick, man. Like, just if it's the thing you're gonna do it. Don't do all this scheming and fucking backroom deals. It's just like optically it looks terrible. It just is terrible. So I lost a lot of respect for Ken Holland seeing the press conference the days after this. But it was inevitable. We kind of saw it coming. You and I talked about, where does this leave the Oilers? And it left them exactly where we thought it would. They got a new head coach, and we'll see how it all plays out.
Yeah, exactly. When you're off to a rough start and there's just that little bit of turbulence, you have to do something. Maybe it's hard to make moves right now. Maybe that's why we're not seeing anything, or it's just too early, or they didn't want to move those kind of assets yet, and they knew that the coach flip was, going to be inevitable. And like Woodcroft, I mean, he's probably going to land on his feet. Someone's going to scoop him up, and he's probably going to look like a quality head coach. He was, the highest winning coach ever in Oilers history or something like that. I mean, they were really good the last, year or so. I mean, it's nothing too crazy, right? But, he'll probably be okay, and see kind of what's next, right? But yeah, I mean, it's kind of on Holland at this point, right? It's his last season. He's got nowhere to go, nothing to lose. You got Mike Smith, HBK on the ice. You got the Nature Boy flying jets in the back. Oh my gosh, poor Oiler land.
I should have spent more time coming up with some good wrestling analogies for this one, because you're right, that you're nailing it. Vince McMahon, Ken Holland, it's there. It was written for me, and I overlooked it.
Throw around slobber knocker and Oilers, that's what they are. So they're back on track now. They're still towards the bottom, but I mean, lots of season left. So I'm sure there's teams at the top that we could be like, yeah, that's probably not going to last there. So, but with that, I'm now caught up on the Oilers, and we can go to the next game. And I believe we go to NHL.com. 29th. How far do you think we have to go before we find another Canadian team? Columbus, Minnesota. Minnesota sucks, eh? Oh, I thought they were better. And Calgary, look at that, 26th. Yay,
Calgary. So there's less to talk about with the Flames, I will say, but it's a little bit more intriguing because we basically just had a few players come out and be like, you trade me right fucking now, and then hang up. But obviously nothing's happened. We haven't gone anywhere. I don't think we're going anywhere with any of this. But it is a curious message to send kind of in amongst a regime change. Craig Conroy's taken the lead. He's been here a month and a half. Well, he's had a month and a half of regular season play, and it just hasn't worked. And people are like, you know what, fuck this. I actually don't care what Craig Conroy brings to the table. I'm out of here. Trade me.
Yeah, it's a tough situation, such a slow start. And at least with the Oilers, you can look and say, well, they have McDavid, they have Draisaitl, they have the offense, right? The offense will win you a game here and there, right? So, you think in the standings, they have a way of creeping up when the going gets tough. We've seen McDavid go kind of supernova before and propel this. I think they had a slow start, last December. I was telling Oilers Nation, calm down, it's going to be okay, you're probably going to catch up. The San Jose Sharks and the Ducks are the first and second in the Pacific. Everything is fine. With the Flames, I don't know if I can have that conversation outside of it's going to be fun watching your team get assets. Yay. And, I mean, I get to go to cheap games soon, so also pretty exciting.
I can't even imagine, as a Columbus Blue Jackets super fan, the excitement of getting a $4 ticket to see the Blue Jackets and Flames play.
I know. One of the guys at work already said, he's like, I will pay you minimum wage to come hang out with me at a Flames game. And I'm like, it depends who they're playing.
Yeah. But, so, the other thing that I just want to mention briefly here, we talked about this too. We talked about, is this the time for the Flames to rebuild? Is it time to sell off assets? Mm-hmm. If you go on any major news network in Canada, it's is it time for the Flames to rebuild? What pieces can they acquire with whatever players? People are talking about this after we've had these conversations.
Yeah, I know. That is frustrating. Well, not only that, but the fact that Dustin Wolf still isn't playing, right? He isn't kind of their starter, and they're still trying to make a season out of what they have. It's gonna. I mean, I guess it does become inevitable, right? You get another month of bad hockey, and you're sitting at the bottom of the standings. You're probably done, right? St. Louis was an anomaly. It's not the norm. So, at a certain point, it just becomes Dustin Wolf's team, and you see kind of what you got with the kids. So.
Yeah, I think he did get one start your way. I think he played on a Saturday night game somewhere. I'll take a peek here.
Yeah, kind of the schedule pulled up here. That looks like they played the Kraken, with the Senators. That was an okay week. They beat Vancouver last night, so.
One game, yeah, I don't know where he played, but he gave up 4 goals and stopped 30 of 34.
Might have been the Leafs then, so.
Yeah, maybe it was Leafs, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, the future is bright, with the caveat that Wolf's in net, and Wolf's not in net, so Flames are going to get doused.
There you go. So we're living in Alberta. One of us lives and dies with the Oilers. One of us just wears a spiffy Gretzky jersey sometimes. So that's it. So we get to leave the bottom. But on the plus side, that means we get a new segment, guys. We started playing Puck Doku a little while back, and this is actually the hardest part of this, doing this podcast now during the week. I don't get to wake up with a Puck Doku. What am I going to do? So we're going to fire this up. I'm going to pull it up on my screen. Grant, you can pull it up on maybe a screen you have, a phone or something like that. And we are going to, this is an old throwback to an ESPN classic, Stump the Schwab style. We're going to have 3 rounds. So we'll take 1 round now, talk about 2 more teams, another round, carry that out. We're going to do golf style rules. Me and Grant each get 3 guesses. A miss counts as 50%. And then we'll take the lowest cumulative total of our 3 guesses. And the winner gets rewarded somehow.
I don't want to give too much away here, but no, you know what? If this means something, you know what? I am going to bite my tongue. So, how do we decide who gets to go first, Mick?
I believe if we went just based on our previous Bettor Advice, I think, because this was supposed to be kind of like an adjacent agenda to that. I think you were leading at the time. I think I had hit a bet or something like that. Maybe there's a note. But I believe you are leading, so why don't you take the lead, and because I stole your thunder, so I was sick and tired of you beating me, and I changed it, made a game up. You pick first, so you get first crack on this one.
Okay, perfect. Then I get to preface this, and I will take this with probably the most uncommon square that I think it is. This is basically a Taylor Hall grid. Are you looking at this? He's played for 4 of these 6 teams.
Yeah, all right. Go Taylor Hall.
So anyways, right now I'm debating. So
where is Taylor Hall the least picked?
Exactly. That's what I'm debating.
All right.
I'm leaning towards Arizona Buffalo, but because he spent some time in Boston, albeit he didn't do much.
Mm-hmm.
And like he's with Chicago now, so I'm going to say that's top of mind for most people. So you know what? Yeah, I've talked myself into it. Arizona, Buffalo, Taylor Hall.
All right, Arizona, Buffalo, Taylor Hall. 20%.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah, that's not a good one. All right, so I got lots going on here. Oh my goodness, these are the best squares I've ever seen. I'm going to take. Let's go with Boston, Anaheim, and I'm gonna throw you, because no one else will. I'm gonna do Nick Ritchie. Nick Ritchie. 3%. Boom.
Damn.
All right.
That's a hell of a play. Good for
I
you.
had on Immaculate Grids yesterday. I had a .01. I was the only person that had Grievous Vasquez as a buck and a raptor.
That's a Mick flex. For anybody who doesn't know Mick, that's a Mick flex.
And then what was the other one? The Raptors were another one this last little while, and I had like Sean Marion for a Heat and a Raptor, and then it was like a Jazz, and I had Chris Humphries, and it was like 1%, and I was like, I'm the best player ever. I mean, only at Raptors for you, so.
I can't say that I've got. Oh, you know what? I can. There was Anaheim. This was Immaculate Grid. I'm cheating on Puck Doku on the.
Yeah.
Puck Doku is actually my side bitch. Immaculate Grid is my go-to. Up the hill, there's a grocery store. This lady was telling me about her son who was drafted by the Ducks. Anyways, Brendan Tracy. Anyways,
okay.
It was like name a first-round pick with the Anaheim Ducks. It was like .06, I think. By the end of the day, it did creep up because you look once and then. But anyways, at the time when I selected him, I think I was probably the only person on the internet who said that guy's name.
Sick. All right, cool. Let's go. Oh, we got standings. That's what we are. I might have already queued all the tabs to make it more seamless. Let's go up from 26. Oh, to 25! Senators, you suck!
Another juicy headline that we get to talk about.
So, what happened, Ottawa? I thought you guys were gonna good this year. What happened? You guys lose the first round picks?
Oh, you shady bitch. So were you paying attention to this data knob nonsense?
Not. I just saw the headline one day and I was like, sure, I guess so. So what happened was Pierre Dorion didn't disclose the trade list. Is that what it was, or or they withheld medical information?
And so I can't so this is how I wasn't even intrigued enough to look at it at the time, so I don't even know.
Okay.
But the part that kind of got my mind thinking, I was like, we've seen some teams, coaches, general managers do some pretty heinous stuff over the years, like criminal stuff.
Yeah,
and the punishments weren't as severe as what the Ottawa Senators were handed for Pierre Dorion not giving them a piece of information, document, whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe it's because, because like normally they give them the first overall pick and like a generational talent or something as a reward for their like covering up of sex crimes. Yeah, it seems weird. It seems weird that they actually tortured the Senators. Like they must just not like them or something.
So this is If the NHL is trying to send a less rapey message, it is not being received.
No, it's not working. I don't get what they want us to do, Coach. It's pretty obvious.
Gary Bettman, just tell me what the fuck to do, man.
Yeah. It looks like we're doing all right. At the bottom of the standings, they're having a slow start. Is it an on-ice issue? Is it a health issue? Do they have a bunch of injured players? Because maybe there's a theme with Ottawa Senators and like their medical staff that they're not sending the proper medical reports. They're probably getting docked because their doctor sent Dadanov's medical reports written in crayon, and they're like, "This is a joke. This is an absolute." But no, he actually just writes in crayon. So they're doing like a Patch Adams approach. It's just a clown in the hospital. They don't even have like an actual doctor. I mean, it explains a lot. Like Cam Talbot was hurt when he was there. Matt Murray was hurt when he was there. Anton Forsberg was hurt when he was there. Craig Anderson was hurt when he was there. Daryl Hammond, the Hamburglar, was hurt when he was there.
Erik Karlsson, we can't look past Erik Karlsson, who was hurt.
I was just doing goalies. So I was looking at the goalies I could do from the last 5-6 years.
Well, yeah, point.
Korpisalo's probably now hurt. Who would have thought that Jonas Korpisalo wasn't the answer? Weird.
Another little humble brag there for early season listeners. The truth is, and for at least from my perspective, outside looking in, half-baked shenanigans perspective, I think.
Didn't Brady Tkachuk get into it with the fans and some reporters because they were booing them on the ice because they sucked so much?
That does ring a bell. I might have overlooked that one too. Maybe I'm not as passionate as a secondary Sens fan as I think I am.
No, I don't think that's it. They're I'm on Twitter all the time thinking about the Senators, talking about the Senators. Most of it is just talking about the Leafs. So it's the best part of being a Senators fan is you just talk about the Leafs all the time. So.
Why do you keep doing this to me?
I definitely the Hiroshima War Museum. I overheard some gentlemen saying, "Oh, well, the Leafs lost last night." So my wife says, "You're Leafs fans," and they're like, "No, we're Red Wings fans." I'm like, we just like watching the Leafs lose. And I just looked over and I said, "I don't think about you at all," and then turned and walked away. So I'm pretty proud of myself.
Yeah. If there's ever an opportunity for Mick to make an ironic point, he doesn't. He will not pass up the opportunity.
I was like, "Oh, is Detroit good this year?" I was like, "I don't care. All right, bye. Cool."
Yeah.
All right. On to the next team?
On to the next team.
All right, Ottawa. You silly little buggers. We're going to keep scrolling up. Oh, 21st. We're still in the 20s, and we've got to our fourth Canadian team. Oy vey, Montreal. Although, I'll be honest with you. Montreal, yeah, that's probably about where they're at. They're definitely a bottom 10 team, so I'm not that shocked with this one. This one actually kind of makes sense. Lots of losses, couple wins. Yeah, sure, you beat the Bruins, and you lose everyone else. Yeah, Canadians.
They gave, we got lots, maybe less to talk about with Montreal Canadiens. They gave the Vegas Golden Knights everything they could handle last night. They were up.
That was a that was a hell of a game actually. Like they kept pushing the puck, they didn't give into the pressure. Like, it was good. Defensively, it left a lot to the imagination, but like not bad.
And that's exactly what we've talked about again, to toot our own horn. Maybe there's a better analogy than tooting our horn. Like slobber our own knobs. Can we do slobber? To slobber our own knobs.
I'm not a tutor. I'm definitely just not a tutor. So.
Big slobber guy.
Big slobber
Anyways. I can't even remember what we were talking about. Tooting our own horn. No, slobbering our own knobs.
This is my review of Japanese pornography podcast. Welcome to the show. Today we're looking
we can't. Go ahead.
Oh, today we're looking at Chelsea. Here's lovely Chelsea. Pages are just a little wrinkled.
Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say. We also have talked about what a great offensive team they would be and how terrible they would be defensively, and lo and behold, that's exactly what we're getting. I don't know what's going on with Montreal. I haven't been paying super close attention. Apparently, Jake Allen is a quality netminder the Oilers should target, and I found that a little curious because outside of a few games in St. Louis, I don't know what this guy's really done with his life.
I guess that's kind of what you do when you're just a team. Like, you just talk about things you have. You're like, well, we have, like, 3 good goalies you could trade for. And that's kind of all they can do, really, because there's not much else going on, right? So we've all been there. We've all had those bad seasons, and it's just where the Canadians are. They're just, like, showing you nice things.
This is like the Family Guy episode where Peter Griffin says he never trades Bubba Fett. That's what the Canadians GM is like with Sam Montembeault. Like, why would you hang on to Sam Montembeault? Like, that's your solution? That's what's going to get you to the promised land?
He's not even French Canadian. What are you doing? I'm très buffoon.
Yeah, Tabernac, you losers. Anyways.
All right. Guys, that was 2 more teams. We're like middle ground, lukewarm. Maybe we just don't care at all. And that's probably how I would describe what just happened there. So, it happened, but like, not a lot of action. But that means we're round 2, puck doku. Now we've had time to think. Obviously, we already have the answers. I've been Googling like crazy. So, Grant, round 2, who you got?
This guy meant a lot to me for a time being, and I was sad to see him leave Chicago. But they used to have a defenseman by the name of Nicholas Hjalmarsson, who went from Chicago to Arizona. And I'm hopeful he's like 5% or less.
Ooh, Chalmelson. That's one of those weird names where, like, how do you spell that?
H.J. Almerson. I don't know.
H.J. Yeah, Nicholas Harmel. Okay, all right. 11%.
11%? My God. Ugh.
He was near and dear to a lot of people's hearts. So, all right. I don't know if this is right. But I'm going to take another Phoenix Coyotes guy. Like, of all the options on the board, why not hammer that one? Is the man, the myth, the legend, why is everyone so mad? Ilya Bryzgalov going to count for did he play with the Coyotes? Because I kind of think he played with the Coyotes. I'm going to go Ilya Bryzgalov for Ducks and Coyotes. Ilya Bryzgalov. 18%. So right now the score is 21-31. All right.
You got a bit of an advantage here.
But yeah. Like, there's some of these I just don't know. Like,
Predators.
I don't know if I know a lot of Predators. And like, you know who also I'm really bad at? The Sabres. Like, that's a problem we could talk about afterwards. Oh, I didn't just flip to that page. We don't know who's next. We have to go back to the standings and scroll up. We should have a fun song. We have to go have so many teams. And then we get to, oh wait, I missed the Winnipeg. Wait, where are the Winnipeg Jets? Are they ahead of the Leafs?
They probably are ahead of the Leafs, yes.
Huh, and my arrogance. I just said that they were second. Look at that. We have to go talk with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Oh, glory day. Glory day! Toronto, what happened? Anything in the last couple weeks? I know the last Predators game that I was watching, I canceled my cable package during the game and my TV just shut off. They're very efficient. I'm thinking, like, I've already paid this bill. They'll probably bill me next month. I'll have cable to the end of the year. No, instantly.
Yeah, don't fuck around, I guess, maybe.
Oh, I found out. That's for sure.
I got nothing on the Leafs. I don't think, as far as Canadian hockey has gone over the past couple weeks, there have been a lot more entertaining teams to follow than the goddamn Toronto Maple Leafs. What I did see is this heartwarming post on social media. You know what some fan did? I can't remember. I think Mitch Marner's dog's name is Zeus. I think it's Zeus. Anyways, some fan at least close to the glass for warm-ups, threw a dog toy over to Mitch Marner. I think maybe traded him a puck for a dog toy, something like that. And on social media, Mitch Marner brought it home to his dog and then posted it and said thanks for the toy. I was like, you know what? That's all the Maple Leafs news I need in my life.
Yeah, I've been kind of roughly watching like my games at 9 in the morning or something like that. Also, solid time to watch sports. Like, I didn't have access to it, but I'm like, oh, perfect. Like I said, have my coffee, watch some sports. Yeah, nothing really special. They've had a couple big comeback wins, I believe. They came back against Detroit earlier today. They were down like 0-2, and then the third scored all 3 goals. I believe William Nylander had a goal and 2 assists in his hometown of Stockholm in front of his family, so good for that guy. They beat the Canucks, so the Flames, that was probably less impressive. Lost to the Sens. I think that was just a poor defensive effort. Yeah, like the Leafs are the Leafs. They're kind of boring. They've got a couple guys that are really good. Like Austin Matthews had a hat trick somewhere along the line or something like that. Like he's quietly leading the league in goals. I feel like he's only scored in like 4 games, but there were like 4. He's had like 4 hat tricks already, and I'm like, good for you. Yeah, all right. So I don't know, is he good or bad?
That's the kind of the eternal debate. You're either there's no absolute or there's no middle ground with Austin Matthews. It's all absolute, and that's true for his performance. That's true for his fandom. You either love or hate him. He either scores or he doesn't, and that's it. That's just Austin Matthews.
That's it. And that maybe is a Leaf segment because I don't know. Like, do we care? Do we care that John Wall played one time and then Ilya Samsonov played another time, and then like Ryan Reeves isn't very good? I listened to a Leafs podcast, and like their main topic for the last 4 shows has been that Ryan Reeves isn't very good. And I was like, you know what I kind of knew without having to watch hockey or like get paid to talk about hockey. You know what I just didn't need to be told that Ryan. Of course, he's not very good. He's there for the vibes, guys. He's there for like the party.
Straight up, like he's the plug. Who needs cocaine on the Leafs? Ryan Reeves has got you.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about a more exciting team, though, guys. As we scroll up to the second team in Canada, we're in the top 10. That's a pretty big jump. We passed the teams altogether. We'll get to the Winnipeg Jets at 9. I believe them and the Leafs are both 9, 5, and 2. And there you go. Winnipeg Jets. I kind of feel like the sky was falling when I left for Winnipeg, so the fact that they're at this stage and they're a top 10 team, good for them. How are they winning?
Well, I haven't invested a whole bunch with the. In fact, I was going to talk about the. This was my. I prepared a little bit for the Jets, but I didn't get an opportunity to use my material, so I'm going to use it now anyways. You remember when the hurricanes in New Orleans devastated the city and everybody's lives were in shambles? Mm-hmm. And then Mike Myers stood next to Kanye West, and Kanye said George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Oh, I think about that all the time. Yeah.
Me too. And I love that I love that we can wink at it now. We can pay homage. And you see it all the time. Anyways, I don't care about the Winnipeg Jets. So.
I don't think you could say black people on TV, Kanye.
Yeah.
Mike, it's okay. Oh, okay, awesome. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I'll be honest with you. I started following others' fandoms on Twitter. The Jets seem quiet. Obviously, they're winning. They're playing some consistent hockey. Yeah, cool.
Looking quickly here, top 12 in expected goals for rating. Surprise, surprise, Connor Hellebuck's doing good things.
Yeah, like elite goaltending. They have pretty good depth, right? I do believe that Pierre-Luc Dubois trade gave them pretty good depth. They should have organizational depth at some point. Is my boy Ville Helona doing anything yet?
I wish I had the answers to your questions, Nick.
He'd be like the leading defensive scorer. I have no idea. But he's my boy, so.
You know, if we didn't have such a rigid rule about jerseys that we wear, that could be a good stocking stuffer Christmas present.
There you go. Sweet. All right. So then one more round of Puck Doku, and we'll find out who wins. And we'll see who the winner of the week is. That means it's the last team that we talk about. Can't wait for that one. Oh, boy. All right. So, Grant, your final guess. You're down by 10%. Who you got?
This is a bit of a Hail Mary.
All right. I'm so scared right now.
I'm so scared too. I'm scared to take the 50 hit, but P.A. Parento spent some time around a few teams.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he played on like 10 teams. And I'm pretty sure he ended with the Predators.
Okay.
So the debate I was having, I know that he, like, P.A. Parento, synonymous with New York Islanders in my mind. But then I started debating. I was like, was he a Buffalo Sabre? And then I was like, wait a second. I think he was also a Chicago Blackhawk. So now I'm trying to flip the coin between P.A. Parento being a Predator and Sabre or Predator and Blackhawk. And I know I'm going to guess wrong. So I'm going to get inside my own head and say Predators Blackhawks?
Predators Blackhawks for P.A. Parento. P.A. Pierre Alexandre Parento. We're going to select 0.8%.
Oh, no. There goes the phone.
That's amazing. Oh, all right. Well, shoot. Well done. That's a hell of a performance there. That means I have a 10. I get 10% here, or I lose. Zoot allure indeed. Shoot. My only guess was that one, but I don't want to do that one. Like, I was gonna go for like the easy layup. Like, there's one on the board that I think's quite obvious between like Ryan O'Reilly. It was gonna be my guess, but like he's definitely over 10%, and that is unfortunate. So, did someone else play? No. I don't. Grant, I don't know. I think I'm just gonna take a random guess. And was Thomas Taberley a Sabre and a Bruin? I don't know. Thomas, no. Taberley. They're actually not giving me that as an option. Oh, no H. All right. Thomas Caberlet, was he a Buffalo Sabre? Incorrect. Shoot. Well, that's too bad. Good job, Grant. P.A. Parento for the win. Wow.
Yeah, I just Googled this. So he only played for 8 teams.
Okay.
And 5 games with the Blackhawk back in 06-07. And only 8 games. I could have swore he played, or maybe it was a trade deadline. Looks like it was a trade deadline. He went from the Devils to Predators in his last NHL season.
That's impressive. Yeah, well, nice. Huh. Sick. All right, good job. The first inaugural Canada Puck Doku. Canada Puck Doku? Oh, there we go. Look at that. Writes itself. Goes to Grant. Oh, man. That means, however, you do win a special prize. So when we are picking games later, so we're going to do a pick'em series, you get better odds. You get the first pick as well as you get the last. You get a free game. So splurge, whatever you want. You can just pick up a random game for your record. Cool.
I like it.
Nice. You want to finish up this Puck Doku? I think we've got 3 guesses left. Any other ones that were like standing out that you're like, why didn't we get that?
So right off the top, Linus Ullmark, Boston Buffalo. I know it's not going to be worth a whole bunch. Like, in fact, it's probably going to be probably in the 30s, but.
Linus Ullmark, 21%.
21?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Oh man, I thought it was going to be higher than that.
There's like a Sabre, or I've had this one before, Blackhawk and a Bruin, and I feel like there's like an older guy, like a name
Bobby Hull. I was thinking Bobby Hull for a second, but maybe Stan Mikita. I don't know.
Yeah, like a Stan Mikita, that might get you there. Stan. I kind of feel like back in the day when there was only 4 teams, everything became incestuous, and they all just kind of played for each other. So.
Yeah, you stick around long enough till you banged all the ladies, and then you're off to the next shanty town. That was just life back then. Everybody knows that.
And then Ryan O'Reilly was obviously the 42%, Buffalo Predators. So there you go. Jeremy,
That,
let's see. So what were we thinking? Taylor Hall. So Boston, Chicago. Top answers: Bobby Orr, Nick Foligno, Taylor Hall, Phil Esposito. That's probably what I was thinking. Or Paul Coffey. I always see Paul Coffey, and I'm like, I don't really know who Paul Coffey is. So maybe I should learn who that is, and that helped me out.
yeah, the coffee tree. There's another couple guys where I'm just like, Derek Brassard. Derek Brassard, every time I'm going through this, is like, how many fucking teams has Derek Brassard played for?
Holy Jokinen, the 10-team man. Like, that's a great guy to get, too. So, Predators, Blackhawks, Seth Jones. Yeah. What was your big pull? P.A. Parento, 0.8%? Yeah, okay, he's actually correct. The same as Tom Fitzgerald and Michael Layton. So, there you go. You're rarefied air with that one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Derek Brassard played for 11 teams.
That's a good one to know. It's like, yeah, there's a couple of them out there that get you pretty far in life.
Yeah.
All right, and then the final team, I think we scroll up. The Vancouver Canucks, top 3 in the league. Wow, look at that, amazing. Vancouver, what's been going on in Vancouver? 10-1 against the Sharks.
Yeah, 2 games later, the Oilers lose to them 4-1 or whatever it was. I keep waiting for Vancouver to fall flat on their face, and I've chatted about this before. I can't think of any like fun, entertaining, like gossipy headlines. So I'm going back to my roots, and that is analytics hockey. Specifically, Vancouver is overachieving by like a substantial margin. They have so I wrote about them yesterday. Vancouver was playing the Flames, like everybody backed the Flames. Anyways, Flames won. Vancouver at the time, I haven't looked at it since then. I could probably just switch some columns here. They had the 4th or 5th worst expected percentage, but the top actual goals for rating. So they were outscoring their opponents by a 65% ratio, and they're operating at like a 42-44% ratio, something like that. So like well above where you would expect them to be. But as I've said in the past, these metrics have a funny way of balancing themselves out. And as we've seen Vancouver suffer for the last 2 years, that debt may have been paid with last year's metrics, if not the years and years before that.
Yeah.
And maybe this is just their chance to live on the unsustainable side of the spectrum and win games and make a playoff run. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, they're healthy right now. It's still early in the season. I think they're not bad. Again, I said, was this team a playoff spot? Are they knocking on the door? Probably pretty darn close. This lead at the start of the season definitely gets there. I kind of feel like the team from 2 years ago also overachieved pretty significantly. What's his face? The guy they got from Tampa Bay.
JT Miller?
JT Miller. He had like a 90-point season right before he signed his big contract, and then kind of came down to earth last year, and I assume that was closer to JT Miller. But he looks kind of returned to form on this. Like him and Pettersson are playing that very elite kind of style of offense that they like to play. They skate hard. Does it come down to earth? Probably. Like at some point, them and the Oilers probably like level all somewhere and end up somewhere like here. I don't think it's going to be here all season. You know.
I hope, for my sanity's sake, you're right. I hope that this thing does balance out, and by the end of the year, we're laughing about how terrible the Oilers were, and laughing about old fucking Jay Woodcroft panhandling on the streets of Edmonton, busking for, I don't even know what you get in Edmonton these days. It's not Ohana Donuts, because they closed. So, anyways.
Their schedule looks like really wimpy, too. Like, they're playing the Sharks. The Sharks got 20 goals scored on 2 games, guys. At one point, Austin Matthews had scored more goals than the San Jose Sharks organization this season. And then they get the Sharks this upcoming Tuesday, and then next Saturday.
That's an interesting perspective. Like, let's adjust for that makes it look a lot worse. If you're getting outplayed by shit ass teams and still winning,
yeah,
that's one thing. But if you're getting outplayed by good teams, You're not going to get outplayed by
Yeah.
good teams and still win games.
Well, the Oilers had a stretch here that looked like they had lost. It was like the Stars, Canucks. I guess we're arguing the Canucks suck. That's not very good. Maybe it wasn't this night. Maybe it was before. Anyways, there was some other team I was looking at, and they were just like, "Oh, they're terrible." I'm like, "Those are like 3 top 10 leagues." I feel like if you lose to a top 10 team, this guy shouldn't be falling. But when you beat the Sharks, don't brag about it. Act like you've been there before. Wiggle your tail when you walk. All right, so that ends headlines, preview, review. So now we kind of know everything. Now we get to look ahead to the week that was. So that was the weeks that were. Now we're going to get into the week that's going to be. What we're going to do that is a pick series. So, Grant, did you have gambling picks for tonight planned?
I did. I came in here guns a-blazing with a few of them, but for the weeks ahead, there's 2 Canadian teams here that I can talk about. So,
okay. So you get first pick, and technically you get the second pick of games or whatever you would like, and then I'll take the third, but we'll alternate. But if I take a team, you can like veto me talking about it.
all right. Well, going back to the bread and butter here, Edmonton Oilers seemingly have turned a corner, but what we can't look past with the Oilers is that most of their games have come on home ice to start the year. So we're going to see a higher percentage of road games for them over the obviously latter part of the season here. And in the short term, that's especially true. They're embarking on a 4-game road trip starting tomorrow in Tampa Bay, taking on the Southeastern teams, former Southeastern teams, and that is the now Atlantic Division. They're going Tampa, Florida, Carolina, and then going into the Metropolitan Division, and then getting Carolina and Washington. So this is not. I'm trying not to deal in absolutes, but this is going to be a really good litmus test for how good is this team actually. And when you open as road favorites against the Tampa Bay Lightning, and I know I've taken some time to shit on the Lightning over the years, especially with this. I can't even remember. Anyways, I hate the Lightning. They're a bad team. They mortgaged everything, and you know what? Fine, it paid off. Good. Anyways, that's the argument in a nutshell. You gave up everything for a few Stanley Cups, and now you're going to suffer for probably decades because you don't have anything to build on. Now, Edmonton's favored, and I don't think they're a deserved road favorite against the Tampa Bay Lightning, as bad as the Bolts are. And then following that up, let me just pull it up here. I want to say it's like a 3-game in 4 nights. So Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, so Friday. So 4 games in 7 nights, all in the Eastern time zone. They're going to be tested.
Okay. Is your play like Tampa in that game?
Yeah, so my play that I had written out is Tampa Bay plus 102.
Okay, yeah, I was looking at that. Actually, I had one of those. They were my 4th choice. So you didn't take my top ones. Just saying, not a great first choice. But I also liked Tampa Bay there. It just does seem like a spot that you have a resurgent Oilers team. They're probably going to step a little bit. They're on a road trip. They've got a new coach. That's a lot to figure out. And yeah, Tampa, Florida, Carolina. That's a pretty tough gauntlet on the road, right? You got to be home. You got to be home, shoveling your snow, eating your heated driveways, complaining about moccasins, or you could just go hang on the beach, flip-flops, check out girls with their butts and the bikinis, big distraction.
There is literally an alien-themed strip club in Tampa. Don't tell me that you're passing up that when you're passing through town. I know what Stuart Skinner's all about.
Sometimes you see that. I believe I heard someone quote earlier that in the Leafs game you kind of see the Jägermeister wearing off of everybody's bodies in the third when they started to kind of come alive. I don't know if you're going to get that swamp water out of your system into maybe if you sweat a lot, maybe. But chances are... Wait, did Jack Campbell get waived? Or was that just a dream?
Oh yeah, we can talk about Jack Campbell getting waived. He's down in the AHL.
What have you done to him? He was so friendly before and so nice. You broke him.
You're not here for that nonsense.
Oh my gosh. All right. So for my first game, what I would like to look at is I'm looking at Sunday night. Sunday night we're going to go to... Sunday night. Get the St. Louis Blues during a road trip too. They're playing San Jose that they lost to the other night. They're playing the Kings on Saturday night. Yeah, and then they're playing the Ducks Sunday night before they go to Arizona on Tuesday. So it's the middle of a road trip, back to back. I'm thinking we're going to see a tired team. Again, there's going to be lots of butts on the beach that Jaden Schwartz is able to check out. Wait, Jaden Schwartz, maybe doesn't he play with Seattle?
Schwartz is in Seattle now, yeah.
All right, I don't know any St. Louis Blues, but somebody there, maybe a Chikarsky. I don't know. That's a tough one. There's probably someone there. But they're going to be checking out the butts, and I like Anaheim in that play. So if you're just looking at that fatigue factor, traveling versus Anaheim, I think they're playing tonight at home against Florida, and then they've got a day off, play Sunday night. So hopefully they can get up to that game, and they're probably used to the butts. So I would like Anaheim in that play. Hence, like, a pick series works better because otherwise, like, how do you figure out a line for that? I don't know.
Yeah, we chatted about this at the outset. Well, the camera's off, but anyways, this is what people get to look forward to. I don't know. Can you see that?
Oh yeah.
2001 Odyssey.
Nice.
If that's not gonna get sued, I don't know what is. All right, going down the list here. Another Canadian team. Apropos, I know we don't have to talk about Canadian teams, but this is one of my favorite plays to make in the entire world, so I am not going to pass it up here. Winnipeg Jets riding high, but you know who is also riding high these days? The Arizona Coyotes.
Oh.
So where we're sitting with this one, Winnipeg's going into tomorrow night on the second night of a back-to-back. Arizona's coming in. I believe their last game went to overtime, so we're looking at that game for me. Nothing but shootout, baby. I don't know if I'm allowed to make that play in this new format, but that's exactly what the play that I think people should be making. You can get it at plus 380. At least I'm looking at it at plus 380. Maybe there's better prices out there, though.
Okay, nice. Yeah, wow, that is a daring strategy, Cotton. Let's hope it pays off for you, because, like, it seems like a stay-away game. But also, I kind of just feel like I hate the Coyotes more than anything in the whole world, so... Like, they play a 3,000-person arena? Are you kidding me? Second pick, not that I'm afraid that you're going to take... You couldn't go all Canadian. You wouldn't do that, guys, right? You couldn't do that to us. I like evenness. I do think that's... See, this would help if, like, you did it live. I kind of think Minnesota... Am I going to emotionally hedge? Should I emotionally hedge? No. I'm going to go Saturday, tomorrow afternoon, or 9 a.m. Wake up early. You can watch the Global Series. You can see the Minnesota Wild play the Ottawa Senators. And you know what? I think we're going to see the Ottawa Senators be victorious once more. And I don't know if they have any Swedish players on their team. But Erik Karlsson, oh boy, will he be cheering wherever he resides now. Because I'm sure he's a big Sens fan still. Loves that place. Loves it. So I like the Senators beating the Wild. Global Series. Global stage. Take it home.
You talked about this in a previous segment. I can't even remember where it was. Maybe it was, you're talking about watching the Leafs early morning or watching hockey early morning when you're overseas. This is low-key the best thing in the world that could possibly happen to a man. And for a hockey perspective, cool, that's awesome. But the Global Series for the NFL, getting to check in, wake up, turn your TV on, whatever it is you're into, coffee, tea, water, milk, Cheerios, White Claws, I don't care. Getting to turn on your TV and just watch something, that's cool. I dig it. But you're wrong, I am going 3 Canadian teams. And lastly, the New York Islanders are blowing through Western Canada. They've been west. They've been a little more central than they went central-ish, west. Now they're back to central. They're coming back to Calgary tomorrow night. Calgary is a team on the up and up. I think the Islanders are going to be a little flat-footed on the end of a road trip, so I'm taking Calgary straight up in that one. We're fortunate enough to have the prices. It's minus 140, but irrespective of cost, I think that Flames is the right side to be on.
Yeah, I also like that play too. I was looking at that. They've been playing a little bit better hockey, dialing it up. And yeah, these road trips, I do think at some point you're going to stumble. Well, more than likely, these teams are probably going to stumble, right? Maybe less to play for when you are coming to Calgary. It's just so boring compared to New York City. They're probably just so bored here all the time. They're so sleepy. They just want to sleep. And they're going to fall asleep on the ice. That was terrible analysis. I'm also sleepy. My brain's. I'm sorry. He deserves better.
Well, for a city that never sleeps, it kind of makes sense. You're going to come here and be bored to death. There's only so many. There's no. I can tell you right now. There's no 2001 Nude Odyssey strip clubs in Calgary.
Yeah, that's good. And then finally, my last choice, Winnipeg. You know. Which one did I like? Oh, I think just in terms of if you were like into a hockey game, into a hockey series, wanted to get into something this weekend. I do believe that the Pittsburgh Penguins Vegas Knights have kind of an interesting back-to-back tomorrow night. Vegas is at the Flyers, so better team on the road, a little bit of momentum. Saturday, Pittsburgh is playing Carolina, same team, probably better team on the road. Sunday, however, is where we're seeing that culmination of kind of what these should be a kind of two heavyweight matchups. They've got a lot of star power on the ice. Vegas is at Pittsburgh, 4 in the afternoon. It's kind of nice to tuck away in there with like some football games too. Maybe the second slate starts kind of slow, boring. We're seeing a lot of like punts. You're like, I can't get punts. I need to get some puck. I think Vegas Pittsburgh could be a very hell of an entertaining show, and I like Pittsburgh in that series.
I couldn't agree more with you. This is like the best secondary option to have because it's entertaining enough where it will be captivating when you want to be captivated. And even more so, Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh is another team. Deep down, I'm rooting. Like, I got a soft spot in my heart for Sidney Crosby and Malkin. It's not. This is. I want them to have a fairy tale ending. I really do. Ovechkin can go fuck himself, but Crozzo, Malkin, or Gino, I hope that they get everything their heart desires. So I'm hoping for good things for them. And yeah, seeing them on short rest, second night of a back-to-back at home against the Knights team. Again, well-traveled Knights team. Yep. Perfect spot to back the Pens.
Awesome. Sweet. Cool. So there, that there's a sneak peek, maybe, I don't know, is that better format? You kind of branch out, look at different stories in hockey, expand. I don't know. We'll keep workshopping if things don't work and go from there. Now, Grant, you do have an extra game because you are the Puck Doku master today. So what is your free play?
Let me take a quick peek here. Looking ahead to looking ahead to Sunday. Nothing really piques my attention. So, you know what? I'm going to go back to a game tomorrow night. And I'll sort of go back to the well for a Saturday night game. But this one, I don't think New York rivalries get enough credit for just the griminess that they bring. And it's not Islanders Rangers, but you can make a strong argument that Devils Rangers is probably the more entertaining game or entertaining series, just with the caliber of teams that they have. So that was actually the fourth game that I had highlighted, and I'm not going to change it because I think sign up, watch this one. There's like a new level of hate between these teams, and I'm here for every minute of it. You used to see, I've been fortunate enough to see the Islanders Rangers live, and I know that there was as much blood shed in the stands as there was on the ice, and it feels like the Devils Rangers is overtaking that rivalry. So tomorrow night, this is one of those like juggernaut, haymaker, stand toe to toe, slug it out type games. Rangers Devils, I think it goes to overtime. And that's a game that, irrespective of outcome, it's going to be appointment viewing because I think it's going to be that entertaining.
If you had to pick a winner in the Arizona-Winnipeg game, who would you pick?
Winnipeg. Yeah, just Winnipeg.
And then Rangers, if you had to pick between the Rangers and the Devils.
Rangers.
All right, cool. Awesome. Yeah, just for make the guys that keep track of things a little happier. Awesome. I like that too. As soon as you said that was the other game on the slate when I was kind of going through and picking all my teams, and I was like, I don't know. I kind of like I like some of the other spots different. Yeah, maybe I wouldn't have went Ottawa. I probably should have rethought that one and picked that game. But I really like that game. It's definitely one of those things. If you're just looking for pure hockey, pure entertainment, right? You're not just about the fandom or maybe like where your money is. You're probably going to see the best bang for your buck. They're going to have the most fireworks. So that's great game. That playoff series that they had last year, all over the map. I don't know if this is their first meeting, but a primetime meeting between these two powerhouses on a Saturday night. It's going to be good.
Yep, sign yourself up.
Sweet. Awesome. So that's everything. Huh.
Doing it quick, I'm just spitballing here, this is in fact the first time they've met since the playoff series last. So yeah, it's gonna be greasy.
Cool.
Let's fucking grease it up.
Sweet. I'm seeing that Jack Hughes is a game 9 decision, so him coming back from a little bit of an absence too. It's much needed firepower for this team, which was they must have scored a lot in the first couple games because I saw Jack Hughes and Jesper Pratt, I think his name is, were on top of the lead for points for the longest time. They've fallen off a little bit, but off to a fast start. Maybe we'll see a little bit more fireworks tomorrow.
Here's hoping.
Cool.
But the Canada Puck Pod. Oh God, how did I stumble that badly? The Canada Puck Podcast would not be the Canada Puck Podcast without our Babe of the Week. Mick, it's been so long, I have a present for you. It's not one Babe of the Week, it is Babes of the Week. And they are brought to you via the Allen_Ice Angels. That is ALLEN_ICEANGELS. I don't even know who the Allen Americans are, but I would, without question, go tune in just to get a closer look at their Ice Angels. From top to bottom, from start to finish, wherever you want to begin and end, they are worth the price of admission. The Allen Ice Angels are our Babes of the Week. Shall we?
There's a lot of content here. I also, as I was rethinking of format of the show, I realized I think we have a Canada Puck Instagram, and really doing ourselves a disservice the fact that we have a screen sometimes. Why aren't we doing Instagrams on here? Can you show that? Can we just Google girls on YouTube? Is that one of those questionable things? We're respecting the craft, that's all we're doing. You grow up. I can't grow up. I'm already mature.
I respect bitches.
I respect bitches. Cool. So with that, we're back. Look at that. Just around the hour mark. Perfect. So hopefully this guys gives you a little bit more runway, kind of just digest, listen to us, get ready for some hockey, because there are some great matchups, great games this weekend. And we'll be back next week to recap what's going on.
Looking forward to it. Let's roll with this. Let's make the most of it. Let's make some more memories. Let's tell some Canadian hockey fans what pathetic losers they are. Let's do it all, Mick. You and me.
Awesome. Do I say the outro intro?
Yeah, you do.
All right. And then, like we say every week, I guess we'll see you guys next week. And party on, Grant.
Party on, Mick. We'll see everybody next week.